Man, this music, eh? It always it hypes me up, before the live stream. What's up, everyone? Welcome. Ooh, I gotta close the curtain. Okay, there we are. Welcome. Another day, another live stream. Oh man, I'm so ready now. Dun, dun, dun. Where can I find the music? So, the first song is Dreamer by Alan Walker. The second, which is the most known song on my channel, Samurai by Jim Joseph. That's the one that really kicks it, you know. I always get so hyped. And then the first song when I appear in front of the camera is Disaster by Infraction. So it creates a nice entry to the live stream. I mean, I like it myself, and I'm happy many others like it as well. So it's always fun. I really enjoy booting up the live stream. Of course, live streaming itself as well, but also just booting it up. So let me unpin this message. Welcome everyone. Welcome. So offline and a name above here. I can't read it here, but offline, welcome. Cheese, maybe a band-aid. Thanks for popping in, mate. Tangerine, welcome again. Sam, what's up? Ridwan Ben Shamak, afternoon. Good to have you here. Paumit, Rahul, Matthias, welcome, guys. Why does this music always gas me up so much? Same. I'm glad you like it. Matthias, this music makes Bitcoin pump. A little bit. We good vibes, making price move up. Ramon G, what's up? Welcome. Landed a random 750% win on Elon over the weekend. I tried to give the community every time I close a trade. Holy shit. A 750% win. Jeez. Yeah, maybe a band-aid. Money for days. Congrats, man. Good stuff. Ridwan, you are gifted. Make sure you fill in this link and we'll get you sorted. We'll bump you up to silver. I gotta remember the webcam is up there, even though I put the chat now on my screen so you can see where I'm at in the chat. The webcam, of course, is in my prompter there. So Miha Mania, welcome. Deon, good to have you here. The music. So I showed you. Milo, what's up? Eva, Chester B, Map, welcome. Clumsy, what's up, guys? So in today's live stream, we're going to cover Bitcoin, won't take very long, and then we're going to move into the alts. And I plan to be online for an hour. Now, I started a bit later, so I will end a bit later. And the reason I started a bit later is because, well, in my agenda, and, nothing goes 100% according to plan, I had my lunch written down. So I was there in the kitchen. I wanted to make egg with a bit of avocado on a pain vinois in France. And so I was busy. And then my accountant calls me. And I know it's important because we're at the end of the year. And I'm trying to figure out, together with the accountant, what is smartest from a tax perspective, right? I mean, everyone, I do not mind paying tax, happy to pay tax, but I want to pay the least amount of tax that I have to pay. So now that I moved to another country, there's, it's more difficult with regards to business stuff. But we got to a very clear conclusion after 35 minutes of calling, and they called at basically 1:30. So I was like, well, I'm easily going to be finished with the call before 2 p.m. and the live stream starts, but I wasn't. So, at least we have a good plan now. Let's see if we can execute it before the end of the year. So, my egg still not eaten. The pan with oil, at least everything is turned off. But after the stream, I need to eat my lunch because I didn't have time to do it because I got called. So, and the conversation took a bit longer than expected. So yeah, happens. Mohib Fad, welcome. Omar Farouk Lowry, good to have you here. Chess Crypto, what's up? Welcome, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and unidentified people. So on the weekly time frame, that's where we're going to start, and then we're going to zoom into the daily and the 1 hour, right? I always like to start on the weekly time frame. If you watch my live streams, you've probably seen the weekly time frame. You can dream it. You maybe already have it on your chart, whatever. You will know how it looks. Because I always like to start on the weekly because it is important to just zoom out. I also do this at the beginning of my day when I analyze the chart. I always like to start on the higher time frames. Probably people that see my chart. So in the link or in the description, there's like a link and you can go to my chart, right? So sharing is on. So people can see anything that I do on my chart, right? I write high, you see high. Right? And if I switch to another time frame and you refresh the page, then probably you'll go to another time frame. But by all means, you will probably see me put the weekly scenario on at the beginning of my trading days. So anyway, 12 minutes in. Let's start with the analysis because then we can, go into alts. So first of all, weekly time frame, higher probability scenario, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, target for 5 on the chart, maximum of 130K. Now we know that based on the monthly analysis done yesterday, a video, so you can check out the video, it's on the channel, macro targets and stuff. We basically want to stay below, in this scenario, below 180K, but your common target for 5 is below 130 preferred. And your alternative scenario is a lot more bullish, where this is 1, 2, 1, 2, and you'll easily move up to much higher targets. Blasting through 100K shouldn't be a problem, and moving above 180K would definitely be on the cards in this scenario. Just doesn't have the highest probabilities yet. This one here, higher probabilities, looking for 5. Alternative double 1, 2. You need to see price move up. You need volume to increase. And that is something that we do not see at the moment. And by the way, I'm talking about increase compared to the previous high that was made at 73K, right? Or this move to the upside. So you want this move to have a higher amount of volume than this one, which is not yet the case on my chart. I know on some other charts it did, but not on mine. The Coinbase chart, which in my opinion is I know Binance has higher volume there, I believe, but I don't really trust the volume there. Coinbase is the best chart for analysis based on my statistics, which is the reason I use it. Now on the daily time frame here, we're looking for wave 4 sideways price action and still a wave 5 to the upside at a later stage, right? Both in a wide 4 and then 2 more moves to the upside, or alternatively blue 4. Doesn't really matter. You're in a range, and then eventually you move to the upside, take out the all-time high. So the conclusion is the same. And then once you take out all-time high, what happens after? That is stuff that we will analyze, right? That is where the probabilities between these two daily scenarios will change. But at the moment, they have the same direction. So in other words, in both cases, you're looking up. The probabilities are highest to still look for upside. That's the daily probabilities. And then we get to the 1 hour. And I got a question this morning from Sam. It's a good question. It's not the exact question, but basically the question is, I analyzed only this part in the morning update today, and all of this was not included in my analysis. And then basically, the question is like, why? The reason that this at the moment is not analyzed, and I won't analyze this because we already did it in the past, but with the price action that we have here since the recent all-time high, all of the price action in this range here is irrelevant. I don't need it. So therefore, in order to keep things simple, I only focus on the price action here, right? I saw one scenario, I don't know where I saw it, a potential triangle A, B, C, D, and then E, but I know it's not really something I'm looking for at the moment. But hey, if that would be correct, then we still move up and the probabilities still play out. So on a 1 hour time frame, we start counting here from the high and only look at the price action here. Right? Because basically everything before is now irrelevant. It doesn't add anything to the local counts. And that's mainly because this has a higher probability of being a 3-wave structure, which therefore means that a couple of scenarios are possible. Now I'm going to run you through. This will go quick, not as elaborate as this morning. And then we get to probabilities and then the alts, right? Because we want to jump into the alts as well. So first of all, if you start a move with a 3-wave structure, always be aware of a triangle, but preferably the probabilities for a triangle really increase if you can finish a D, but it's definitely a valid scenario, right? A, B, C, you look for a D, E, and then continuation up. Interesting target for D, however, interesting target would be this box here between 99.3 and 99.8K. A little bit of resistance in that area, and could be interesting to finish D there and then start moving down in a wave E for this particular triangle. Now the invalidations are on the chart: low of C, high of B, and then once D is finished, then the high of D becomes an invalidation as well. All right. I have 4 scenarios right on the 1 hour that I'm going to show. However, it's about the confluence between the scenarios, and that is what all of these lines are showing you. We'll get to this in a second. Then we have the WXY, and WXY here actually lower probabilities than a triangle. WXY probabilities are mainly impacted by wave X here because your W is very short and your X is going to be very, very long, over 6 times the length of W. Because inside X you need a 3-wave corrective structure, but at the moment we only have like 2 structures. We don't have 3 structures. We can't count triangles in here or a finished flat or a zigzag or whatever, right? So, or of course you can put your wave X on this high, so you have WX, but then this needs to be wave Y in blue. But because W is a zigzag, this needs to be either a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, or a flat, A, B, C. And in both cases, we don't have that, right? Plus wave Y then also gets very long if it turns into a triangle. So time is a bit of a problem for this scenario, but you have to think about it because the first move down is a zigzag. So you could label it as a W or an A in a bigger corrective structure. In general, probabilities not too high. And in this wave Y, you would now then be looking for either a flat ABC or a triangle A, B, C, D, E. In other words, continuation of the range, right? Triangle, continuation of the range. The flat, also low probabilities, 3-wave move down. Again, you can label it as a W or an A, right? And then for a flat, preferably a zigzag family structure to the upside in a B. However, you're then looking for a W zigzag X, and then you want to see a Y zigzag, but your wave X hit the 0.7 Fibonacci, taken from the low here to the first high that's made, and that lowers the probabilities for a double zigzag, which therefore lowers the probabilities for a flat wave B. Plus wave B is going to be over 6 times longer than your wave A, which is not great for the probabilities. And then we have a diagonal, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too early to really start talking about diagonals because you really want to wait for 4 to be in, right? So you still need price to take out this low, move up, create a 4, then come down again, finish 5, retracement, and then another leg down. This diagonal would then be wave C in A, B, C, or it's going to be A, B, C, a zigzag. Yet to be seen. We don't know. We don't have to know at the moment. So these are the 4 scenarios. Now it sounds like a lot, I can imagine, especially if you are not too experienced with Elliott waves, but basically what you see on my chart now is the price action that you can expect. So all of these scenarios summarized equals this. And I do think, I don't actually often show this, but I did it this morning because I thought it would give, because I analyze multiple scenarios, it can be confusing. And hopefully by putting on the polylines like this, you can see the overlap and the general expectation of how price action looks like, right? So without picking any preferred, of course, the triangle looks really good. WXY is very long, flat is very long, diagonal is early. But the probabilities are higher to continue the range, right? So the yellow line here, Zaza Wicks, this is the diagonal, right? So the diagonal can be A, B, C, finished continuation, or it's A, B, C, a zigzag, right? You start counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. It's not necessarily bullish. All of these are, by the way, bullish in the end, because on a daily time frame, as explained a little bit earlier before analyzing the 1 hour, probabilities are higher that this range here is a 4, and we are still looking for price to move up in 5. So going into the 1 hour is more like doing the nitty-gritty stuff, right? We're trying to figure out what's happening here on the 1 hour and what we can expect, because that can help with regards to trades and trade management. But on a daily time frame, the probabilities are higher to still continue towards the upside. So the different scenarios combined gives you this. And the lines, the polylines, right, is basically the price action then that you can expect, right? So in a triangle, we would expect DE. In a WXY, if your X is finished, you're either looking for a flat or a triangle. Wait 1 second. A, B, C, D, E, right? In a flat, B, C, and in a diagonal, right? And this, what you see on my chart now, is pretty much the same as what I have here. I included wave Y in blue here as well, but yeah, it's pretty much the same. So that is what you're looking at. And then you can see that, yeah, the probabilities are highest, even without necessarily picking one particular scenario, the probabilities are highest to continue the range. Probabilities are not high for this low to be the low and just go straight up, right? It's much higher probabilities, you at least go sideways, right? Even if you take out this low, and then later again, you're still looking for a move back to the upside, likely back inside this range, and then this is where it matters, right? But the probabilities are highest to continue this range. And that's why the title this morning was also, what was the title this morning? Something with continuation of the range or something like that, yeah? on the thumbnail this morning, because this summarizes the price action. So instead of having 4 different scenarios and maybe being a bit confused on, okay, but how is price moving? If you then open each scenario individually and take a polyline and then just draw the price action that you expect in that scenario on the chart, then you remove all the scenarios, only keep on the lines, and you get a very clear idea of, okay, yeah, so this is what I need to expect now. Yeah, probabilities on Bitcoin highest on the weekly that we're not yet finished, on the daily that we are still looking for more upside, on the 1 hour to continue this range. We're not yet finished, high probabilities that we are not yet finished with the range, and we are still looking for a continuation sideways in this range. And if we do get deviations, probabilities are higher, you get back in the range, right? So in other words, continuation of the range. Beautiful. Keep an eye on the resistance as mentioned here to the upside, 99K. And by the way, the support I mentioned only really during the live stream yesterday, at the end of the live stream, for the ones that saw the whole live stream. At the end, someone asked me something about support to the downside. So I have some levels down here. And there was a bit of a gap, right, between some of my levels. So, you know, I have a couple of levels down here, and then this was quite empty. And then at the end, I got a question. So I said, well, you know, if there is some support in between, then I would keep an eye on the single prints, which starts at the low of this candle. You can go back to the live stream if you want. Now, honestly, I didn't expect a reaction like this. So when we lost, I had a support resistance box here, right, yesterday. When we lost it, I went short, naturally. And then, like, I had other stuff to do, so I was just out and about. I didn't set an alarm. So I was short. I didn't have a TP here or whatever. I didn't have an alarm here. And then I came back and price was back in entry. I was like, fuck. So then I closed at break even because I was looking then for potential continuation. So that was sad. But yeah, that happens. You know, at least I had a plan, but I should have been more accurate with, or at least more careful, I suppose, with putting an alarm at a potential area that I identified during the live stream to observe the reaction. Maybe if we just put a TP there, but you know, it happens. So, okay. So that is the probabilities on BTC. Voila. Have a quick look at some of the questions. We started talking at like 30 minutes. BTC Elliott wave analysis at 30 min. Now also chatting Q&A. Pin the message. Do this. There we go. Quick look here. Thanks, maybe a band-aid again, man. We had a debate this morning in Discord. Can we have a WXY double combo in a triangle where Y is a triangle? It has to be a zigzag, yes. In a triangle, you're only allowed zigzag family structures. So you can have a WXY, but then it has to be a double zigzag. Good question. Answer this one just now. Bogdan, what's up? Good to have you here. Actively trading again. David, but is it relevant to include the first part of the correction, since if we count the first part as W, zigzag, and then X, then we at least know we can't have a zigzag in Y. So the reason I don't, so the only scenario that the beginning is relevant for is a flat ABC within a diagonal in your C. And that's the reason I focus on this now, is because this turned into a 3-wave structure. If this was a 5-wave structure, then I would label this a flat. And then if we would continue to correct, then I would label this either wave W or of course a wave A. And then you look for WXY or ABC. But because this turned into a 3, right, I can't count a flat here, A, B, C, because we don't have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count a WXY here, because W is a zigzag, meaning Y is not allowed to be a zigzag in a sideways WXY, right, where X also takes out the high of W, which is an invalidation for a double zigzag WXY. So, yeah, you have your zigzag here and then your zigzag here, so that's not allowed. So we can't then label ABC. We can't label WXY, right? So if whatever is happening here is still part of a bigger corrective structure, then we can count this separately from this high to the downside, right? We can count it separately without keeping this in mind at the moment. We don't need it for the probabilities. We just identify this structure, and then with the information that comes, we take it from there. We might at a later stage come back to this, but at the moment, it's not yet relevant. And I personally prefer having very clean charts, and I'm very selective in what I like to count, right? So you see me do this more often, also during the bull market and in the bear market, that we print a new structure, and I just remove like all the subwaves of the structures before, because it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't change the probabilities of what is happening over here. And it is mainly because of this being a 3-wave structure. So yeah, you don't actually, for the probabilities on both the daily and the 1 hour time frame, you actually don't need this in order to trade the probabilities on a 1 hour and a daily, which is actually very nice because it keeps my chart clean. So oh wait, and then we at least know we can't have a zigzag, which would be helpful. Oh wait, maybe I understood it incorrectly, but yes, if W is a zigzag and X retraces to the 0.7, then the probabilities for a zigzag in Y are very low. I literally, I'm not sure if I answered the question, but yeah. So the 0.7 Fibonacci is not an invalidation for a double zigzag. But once you hit the 0.7, wave X is retracing so high that the probabilities are incredibly low for a double zigzag. So you prefer to look for other structures. And indeed, most of the cases, you then look for a flat or a triangle Y if you look for WXY. Okay, how do you count the fourth wave between 14th of March? I couldn't find the count in your old videos. 14th of March and 6th of September. 14th of March, and are we? Oh wait, okay. And 6th of September. I don't end something here. I either end it here or I end it here. So this leads in a W, this low, not that low. W, X, triangle in a Y, finishing here, right? And then you have a double 1, 2, potentially a triple. Or you have a B, C, ending it here. And then you start an impulse with this horrendous structure. So those are your two options. Okay, let's start. Now with regards to the excitement of mentioning a lot of different ones, I of course try to listen or hear many people, so I tend to just pick one of names that I see. Okay, I'm gonna move you back up, guys, in my prompter, which is also where my webcam is, of course. Zoom in. Yo, Jared, welcome. Glue more, by the way, good to have you here. And I saw Kurtish. What is it? AXS, and I also need my paper. It's actually getting quite dark here. Wait. Light, hello. Ah, there we go. Beautiful, we're alive again. So, pen and paper ready. Bitcoin at 13 minutes. And now we continue. 34. Okay. Let's start with AXS. I don't think I have that. Must be this one, no? Okay. Not I don't have a lot going on here, so in other words, it won't take long. So we have an all-time low. With these type of structures, I always start counting from the low, because it doesn't really make sense to analyze all of this, because that's your all-time low. And if you're bullish, you of course want to see an impulse to the upside. So in other words, you want this to be a zigzag now. That's a deep one. Interesting support resistance area on the chart, of course, as well. And if this is bullish, then we are looking for this to be a wave 4 volume, highest here. So this should be 4, this should be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your low. If we want to count this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, that means a double. Take a fib. Low to high. Oh, that one. Okay, so as long as you do not touch 659, I would prefer to still count this as a 4. So that you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Right? Potentially even 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And maybe later another 4, 5 because you have a 1, 2 here. Right? So the 618 at 653 is an invalidation. Wait, let's go to log here. Log is better because of the movement in price. So that's what I quickly checked. This is 170%. So log would be preferred. So in this case, 598 would be your maximum target for a wave 4. Now, a wave 4 of a higher degree, which is what you would like this to be, tends to retrace to the termination of the wave 4 of a lower degree, which is this small little range there, right? So far so good, but yeah, it wouldn't be great if you start closing candles in the middle here, like the 05 would be very deep. 598 invalidation for a 4. Preferably you do not touch that because this is an all-time low. Can we count triangle A, B, C? No, took out the high. A, B, C, no, so we can't count nice triangles here. So yeah, you do like to have some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Diagonal 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 at least, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. In other words, as long as you do not touch 5986, probabilities are higher to still continue up, right? If you do touch 5986 here, that's a bit of a problem. That lowers the probabilities for the bulls. Because you can't clearly count this as a 1, 2, and then you need another 1, 2. So yeah, I mean, that you need a double 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2 continuation. That would be your bullish scenario. If you touch the 618, a double 1, 2 is the only way to remain bullish. But that depends on this structure, the move back up. Because the moment you hit a 618, you got to be aware of an ABC, which is bearish, and then you continue down. So the move down is going to be very important. Is this going to be an impulse, right? Touching the 618 or not? And this move up, is it impulsive or corrective? But at the moment, you haven't touched it yet. So probabilities are bullish until invalidations are hit, no? Here you go. There you go. Then I saw, 1 second here, I saw this one. Lol. I don't know if I even have it. KSM. KDA, K cost, no. KSM at like 39.50. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's the same chart actually, right? Of course it's a different coin, but it's the same story, no? So highest amount of volume in the recent move up. So this is what you want to count as a 3. And then you look for 4 and 5 as long as you don't hit the 618. And if you do hit the 618, a double 1, 2 is going to be your remaining bullish structure. But then it very much depends, is this move down corrective or impulsive? Is the move up impulsive? That's going to be the question. Now, to be safe, take a 618 from the low, right? Because your highest degree wave 4 is 1, 2, and then eventually you look for 3, 4, 5. So in other words, your lowest invalidation is the 618 at 24. You don't want that to be hit. Honestly, this of course looks still quite 3-wavy, even from this low, right? If you want to count 1, 2, 3, you can, but 4 and 5 would be nice, no? So yeah, also here probabilities are higher. You're still looking for price to move up until invalidation is hit. Let's see, 27 wouldn't be great already, because if you hit 27, then this becomes very much a 3-wave structure, right? And then you have to start to consider expanding diagonals, which of course is very rare. So that's not cool. So, I mean, nicely respecting the fibs, no? 05, 382. You just don't want to hit the 618. So yeah, there you go. And it's just probabilities, highest volume, most common in a wave 3. So probabilities are higher. You're looking for a wave 4 until invalidations are going to be hit. This wave 2, if you count it in detail, you might get this as a total, like complete wave 2, WXY, or potentially a running flat here, right? And if we then compare time, start, and what's the high here? This one, and then toggle on 4, oops, that one. Then we're still between 1 and 2 in time, so time is no problem. But yeah, probabilities up until invalidations are hit. So phew, man, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Wait, what was this? Oh, that's been a while since we checked. Where is it? ABC, EFG, HI. Oh, there we go. Jeez, man. Ooh. Yeah, it's been a little while since we checked ICP, I believe. I mean, the count is, wait, we'll get ICP 4330. Okay, so on ICP, we are currently finding resistance at the weekly. Very nice. Moving back to the wide line here, which is just a support resistance area on the chart, right? So support, resistance, maybe support again. Here we then have our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? So impulse in our 1, 3-wave, zigzag family corrective structure to the downside, and then you look for continuation up, right? If this is the low of your 2. So that is your bullish count. Let me empty the chart here. There we go. Invalidation is, of course, very clear. I mean, honestly, your invalidation is now the low of 2. Because if you take out the low of 2, then either your 2 is not finished, right? And bigger correction and up. Or you go down and take the low. So yeah, this, I mean, because the probabilities on a daily, go to the daily. So because the probabilities are higher that this move down is a 3-wave structure, right? Not a 5-wave structure, it automatically increases probabilities to still take out this high at some stage. If we wanted to count a 5-waver here, then it would have been nice to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if this is your 4, like if this is 4 compared to this being a 2, it's a very small 4. And most commonly 4 is bigger in time than 2, not this small, right? This being a 4 can match this being a 2, but then you would count A, B, C, 3-wave structure, right? And this cannot be 4 and 5. We never took the low. So it makes more sense to count this as a 3-wave structure, which increases probabilities to still take out that high. So the narrative is bullish until, of course, proven otherwise, especially in the market that we're in as well. Now, price moving up, volume moving up, that's what you like to see. Price, of course, having a bit of a retracement to the previous range. Always important in bull markets, these previous ranges. The highest amount of volume is in the high. So, 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to spend too much time counting like lower stuff. I suppose most conservative count is 1, 2 finishing here. There's the potential maybe for 1, 2, 1, 2, but then you need to check diagonals here, which that's only relevant at a later stage. It's just not yet relevant. So 1, 2 in that case. Potentially another 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So you're in 4, 5 behavior in that case. Now, if you take a fib from this low to the high, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished impulse. 1 degree higher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If this is a wave 4 that matches this wave 2, your invalidation is 10.187. Now, if you want to be a bit more safe, then you can take, no, that does make sense. Because we cannot count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's overlap between the high of 1 and the low of 4, which isn't allowed unless we talk diagonals, right? So unless we create a diagonal. But then this is a 5, 5, 3, and then somehow this needs to result in a 5 and then another 3. So you're still looking for upside anyway, which is of course the probabilities. So yeah, probabilities are higher to move up also here. And keep an eye on 10.187. That would invalidate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you have to move into double 1, 2s as your bullish scenario. And then we get back again to what I mentioned at the other two is the move down impulsive or corrective, right? It looks sharp, but can you count it as a 5 or a 3 on the lower time frames, right? On Bitcoin, that move down was very much a 3-wave structure that we had, no? At the moment, highest amount of volume is in the low. If this is impulsive, preferably this move down is your 3, you still look for a 4 and at least another move down in a 5, minimum. But yeah, 10.187. And of course, as price is moving down here and the highest volume is in the low, just no financial advice, but just from an Elliott wave perspective, it's like, you know, it would be good to wait for a little bit of confirmation, no? Like, don't you agree? So of course, sniping highs and lows can be very attractive, but I'm personally a very patient trader. And it would be nice to see some signs of strength. And what also would be nice is to hit the 618 that we... Oh, let's see if we can touch the 618 here. Well, this is definitely a range, so this has to be a 2 in that case. 3 might be the shortest if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's make this more simple. If price retraces this whole move up and goes back to this order block, then you're also going to hit the 0.618. And if we want to be a bit more safe, we can take it to this side, that's 13, and then even to there. Yeah, exactly. So if we fill this gap, or gap, no, not a small little gap, but if price moves back up to this order block here, before taking out the low, that's positive because then probabilities are higher. This is corrective and you're looking for price to take the high. That would be a sign of strength, right? And probably when you then fill this move and hit this order block, it's very likely you're going to get a retracement again, right? So then it becomes interesting to look for signs of strength and potential long positions. But at the moment, you're just dumping. right? So yeah, better safe than sorry. 10,187, of course, important. If you hit that, then a double 1-2 is your remaining bullish scenario, which means you want to keep the structure alive. Or you have a diagonal, but yeah, in both, you know, bullish till otherwise. So what's up, WXYXZ? How you doing, man? Wait, yes, is triangle the only scenario that doesn't take the previous low from the wick? No, a WXY does not have to take the first low as well. A flat can become a running flat, so you don't have to take the low as well. Triangle, no. Flat, doesn't have to. WXY, doesn't have to. Diagonal, have to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next up. Ethereum is always a classic. I've seen many Ethereums being mentioned in chat. So, look, Ethereum. Hey, wait, did we now took this? Oh, we still didn't. Or did we? Did we take it? Yes, we did. Okay, so we can remove this one. That's very nice. 1 second, updating. Voila. So Ethereum is simple, right? So from an Elliott wave point of view, oh shit, my bottle was open and I dropped it. Luckily there was no hardware. Cool. Clean that later. Oh, my paper. Look, I was writing there. Now it's wet. So anyway, Ethereum. Next time I should close my bottle. So on ETH, it's quite simple. We have an 886 touch, and you can see that from the all-time high, we have a very clear three-wave structure to the downside, right? Probabilities are higher to take out this high. Sooner or later, we take out that high. Probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view, the moment this turned into a three-wave structure, with being the highest probability move, which happened here, by the way, the moment this high was made, this move down increased in probabilities of being a three-wave structure. So that was at 2.1K, right? And then you still move down to 1500. Very attractive area. And the reason for that is because of the 618 that was touched right there, invalidating a wave 4, increasing probabilities. This is a 3, increasing probabilities to take the high. Now at a later stage, you then move up, touch the 886, taken from the high to the low. Any move down of the 886, higher probabilities, it's corrective, not impulsive. Right? In other words, probabilities are higher to take out that high. First with the 618 and additionally with the 886. You don't even have to do really any Elliott wave analysis as like count all the individual structures. Just by having these two fibs on the chart, the 618 and the 886, you know enough, right? With regards to your bias on Ethereum is taking out that high, right? So it's a lot more attractive to look for upside compared to downside. Of course, you do have moments where price goes down, but your bigger trend, if you go to a weekly time frame, is up, right? So these are all short-term moves for shorter-term positions, right? The swings are more up than down. Now, with regards to like counts, okay, we are at resistance. Just quickly want to check this folder. Let me remove this here. So the weekly touched again. 886, by the way, touched for the second time. And did we? Yeah, we did. Back to the golden pocket. Very nice. So from an Elliott wave point of view, of course, we still had... Did we take out the higher high here? I think we did, right? So that's nice because then we start to get clarity. So this one goes out the window. Boop. Then your remaining bearish scenario is then a WXY. Zigzag, double zigzag, and you look for a flat in Y. This would, of course, be a very steep move. And you want to take out these lows before then moving up. That's your bearish scenario. Bullish scenario is, you're counting an impulse correction continuation. Conclusion, exactly the same. Take out the high. So it's all of this locally is just risk management, right? Position management. Let's see what's happening on the daily. This is the Bitstamp chart, so not sure how much I trust the volume peak. But what we can definitely see is price starts to create this, right? High volume, of course. This is a steep move up. So I am then inclined to count it 1, 2, 3, look for a 4 and then a 5. Alternatively, ABC is your bearish scenario. So here we go again. We take a fib from, I want to be better safest. 618. No, that's overlap anyway, which is not allowed. So 2.9K wouldn't be great, right? If you go down that far. So yeah, locally, if you're looking for an impulse, right, you preferably have still a 1, 2, maybe another 1, 2 in here, and then you get your 3, and then your 4s and 5s and whatnot. Then you get a bigger 4, and then another 5 to the upside, right? So none of these ranges here are mimicking the size of this correction. And if only this move down is a 2 and not all of this being regarded as a 2, so far, none of these ranges actually represent a 4 comparable to this 2. This 2 is longer in time than all of these potential 4s. So preferably, you're not yet finished. And you're still looking just for a range, and then later go back up. Again, this is just like daily lower time frame stuff, of course, because on the higher time frame, nothing changes. Probabilities are higher to take out that high. Lupo Hardens. Absolutely. Of course, after the stream. Usually it's something that Jeroen checks. So if you filled in the form, then we will get you sorted for sure. By the way, I see a comment here. Koen, I'm quite new here. Decided to study Elliott waves with you. Veronica. Thank you for this channel. My question, did we hit wave 5 in the previous cycle according to the Elliott wave scheme? I'm wondering how accurate Elliott wave can be. So you're talking about the monthly. There is a very slim probability that 69K can be the end of a wave 5. And we're talking about, like, I don't know what time frame you talk about, but if it's the start of Bitcoin till the end, like counting 5 full waves, then yeah, there is the potential of counting 69 as a 5, but then this move up now needs to be wave B of a flat. I'm doing alts now, so on Bitcoin, of course, you have basically this move up. You can count 69 maybe as a 5, and then 15K, 100K. You need to go below 15 or get a running flat and somewhere here. That's your most bearish scenario if you count 69 as a 5. However, then you need to count the move from 15 to 100 as a 3-wave structure. And at the moment, it counts best as an impulsive structure. So therefore, a more bearish scenario would be to look for a new 5 at the high and count the move from 15 as a 5-waver. I have made a video about the very high time frame, the macro, yesterday, I believe. yesterday morning. Wondering how accurate Elliott waves can be. Of course, Elliott waves is subjective. It's about the analyst. But in my experience, since I, of course, after 1.5 to 2 years of studying, reached a very high level in Elliott waves, right? It's incredibly accurate. And I suppose if you follow the channel a bit longer and some maybe even go back to older videos, you will see how accurate it can be as well. I also like to say welcome. Nice to have you here. I'm glad that you're studying Elliott waves. So I see. Cheers, Raul Santella. You filled in the form. Cool, Lupo. We'll get you sorted. Welcome to the team, man. I see many people talk about Link as well. And I soon, guys, have to go. So Link is going to be a final one. But tomorrow, another day, another live stream. Very, very nice, by the way. Hit the resistance. The weekly is touched, right? So, and the point of control as well. So that is the area that we were looking for. We had no resistance here. This was the next one. So it's just, I think Link is technically very, very nice, right? Like we have a very clear 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 up, double zigzag to the downside into horizontal support resistance area and the golden pocket down there as well. Then you flip this support resistance area, even get a red candle as a retest here onto support, break structure. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What else? So very, very nice technically. So this is your... and we have some volume coming in now at the high as well when approaching resistance. Pretty nice. Now, if we only put on the waves, right? So then what we are looking for, highest amount of volume in the recent high. So preferably all of this is still wave 3 price action. It's in an impulse. So in that case, you have your green 1, 2, you have your blue 1, 2, and then you are still looking for your 3 and eventually 4s and 5. So you take a Fibonacci from, maybe you can get another 2 in here, but let's take it from this low to potential for a flat, by the way, A, B, C. 14.658 would be a problem. 236 is touched, minimum target for 4s. Of course you do, if you're matching a 2 against a 4, your 4 has to be, you know, a decent amount of time. So you definitely want to have a longer range. If price would move up now, then this range is very short. So at a later stage, you're looking for at least another 4, 5. Right, and not yet a finished 1, 2, 3. This is 4 and 5 in blue. So these are just sub-degree 4s and 5s in that case. So yeah, probabilities are higher to continue up unless you go down to 14 basically. And on a weekly time frame, your bearish scenario is of course an ABC. Oops. So 5, 3, 5, but even if this is A, B, C, let me put it on the chart here. You're still looking in C for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no? So in other words, you're still looking for a range in a 4 and another move in 5. So even your bearish scenario preferably still leads to higher prices. Now let me check the confluences again. I mean, it would be nice. We still have a monthly. You still have a value area high at 32 as well. And if you break this resistance, then yeah, we're also at the 886, I think. If you break that resistance. Oh, we're almost there. 41. I mean, almost. Well, not almost, but it's another 50%. Almost, he says. Lol. Yes, no, definitely. So yeah, 886 is important. No? So pause this would be a great sign. 886 next, touch 886, probabilities are high to take the high. Touch an 886, do keep in mind that an 886 often gives you a retracement reaction before later continuation up. But yeah, so far so good, no? So yeah. There we go. Oh, I forgot to write it down. When did we start Link? I don't know, about an hour into the stream. Okay, guys, I gotta go. 3:15 now. Yeah. So of course, it's always difficult to really get to all of the charts because there are so many requests. But just so you know, if your chart, your coin has not been analyzed today, I do this every day. I'm live every day, and if I can't be live, then I let you guys know. Now, for your information, the recent live stream before this one, we did render XRP, Sol/Bitcoin, right? Sol against Bitcoin, ETH, Atom, MSTR, Jasmy, Grass, AR, ACH, Uni, and CFX. And instead of me mentioning all of this, if you go to the link tree in the description, Altcoin Elliott Wave Analysis playlist, then you will see this. And I need to change the title of this live stream here to include the coins. I just mentioned them. So, render, XRP, etc. But like, look, 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 7 days, 9 days, 11 days, 3 days. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is these analysis or these videos here where I do weekly or daily time frame analysis on these alts, because I do high time frame analysis, the charts don't change much in a couple of days or a week. Therefore, it's still very valuable to look at these in case I didn't analyze the chart that you're looking for today. Just check the playlist, Altcoin playlist, have a look in here, see if you can find yours. If you think things have significantly changed, then just, come back tomorrow and write in chat, and, I always randomly pick charts from chat. So volume, the reaction comes often just before the hit on the vals or the VAS. Is this normal? Well, if you preferably, of course, you hit the value area high and low. So if you pull a volume profile, of course, you can pull it from the start of a range, from a high or from a low, depends on what you're looking for. Of course, preferably you see them hit because those are support resistance levels. However, if just before a value area high or value area low, you have, let's say, a golden pocket or a daily naked point of control or maybe a weekly level, then it might find resistance or support on that level, but not hit the actual value area high or low. So I use the volume profile in addition to my other stuff. And that then creates an area of resistance, not just the value area high or low, but it creates an area of confluences. So, 81.89. At the moment, not yet. Like the lowest this would go would be with a diagonal where you could go to. You could get this low, but it's too early to talk about diagonals. So if we do form a diagonal, then the answer would be yes. So trading course, I have memberships. It's the Ferhat. It's the join button in the description. It's below the video, actually. The join button below the video, or in the description. Just scroll down, and you'll find something with memberships. Also here in the LINKTREE. There's a link to the LINKTREE. There is here membership as well. That would be the place to be. When is your education Elliott Wave Boom release? Oh, yeah. So the book, yeah, it's like a compendium. We want to get it done before the end of the year. I worked on it before this stream as well. So yeah, and Jeroen is working very hard to get it done. We still have some things to check and change, but it would be nice to have it done before the end of this year. Yeah, it's such a big project, man. Like it's so much information about Elliott waves that's gonna be available in the compendium. I liked what Sam said. Just call it compendium. Like or Sam said yesterday, it sounds more like a compendium. I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna call it a compendium. If I missed your question, make sure to ask it again, because I can't scroll all the way up and look for it. You still expect lower at later stage and a flat on the weekly. An ABC to the upside, you still expect lower at the later stage, yes. And a flat on the weekly, which would be too much on Link. A flat on a weekly, A, B, C, but then you would still take out all-time high. So, and that's the goal, of course. So even in A, B, C, you can turn into a flat, yes. But that's going to be your bearish scenario once you take the all-time high. Yeah. Or a triangle, yes, a running triangle. Don't want signals, I'm interested to learn. Then you're at a good place, because we don't do signals. Everyone is super focused on education. So welcome, Ferhat. Ranking between your levels based on strength. Not really. It's the confluence between them that makes them so important. But I'm a big fan of volume. I like volume the most. If I have to pick one, then I choose volume. If I look at levels, yeah. Will happen to ETH? All-time highs. Cheers, Mohammed. Of course, nothing goes in a straight line, but the probabilities are much higher to still reach all-time highs. Can we mark points as E-wave of expanding triangle? Expanding triangles, of course, are very rare. Never preferred unless every other scenario fails. So it's very likely that that is not the case. December 9, that's low time frame. December 9, that's here. Yeah. 1 to 4 December 9. Of course, your time, by the way, might be different because you live in a different time zone compared to me. That's the question. But I wouldn't count this as an expanding structure or diagonal. I would then prefer to count this as a three waver instead. Also, of course, expanding diagonal, very rare, right? Never preferred. I can't do any alts, guys. By the way, Jeroen, what's up? Welcome, good to have you here. So Jeroen here in chat, he's the other one that works very hard on the Elliott Wave Compendium, the Elliott Wave PDF to get it finished. Oh, and Jeroen, we can add Lupo to silver as well. So yeah, what's up, guys? I'm holding since 2017, missed a 4.5K, I believe it was. So I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know when, of course, right, time-wise, but the probabilities are higher for ETH to still take out all-time high and then take it from there. So it's more like a matter of time than anything else. And of course, retracements and stuff is part of every chart, right? From S&Ps to stocks to like commodities to crypto, but yeah, it's much higher to take out all-time high still. Okay, guys, answered some final questions. Gotta go. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Of course, tomorrow is going to be another day, another live stream. And let's see how much we can do then, right? Some other alts. Of course, we always try to have variety and get as many charts in as we can. So yeah, thanks for the sub, mate. So thanks everyone for being here. Solana, I think out of my head, is wave 4 and 5 price action, so still higher expected. Chris Pratt, I guess. Thank you, Kordama. So thanks everyone. Make sure to be there tomorrow if your chart hasn't been analyzed, and of course, click on the link in the description. Go to the altcoin playlist. I write the coins that are analyzed in all the titles. I will do that for this one and the one of recently. So yeah, check out if the analysis is there, because I analyze the weekly or the daily time frame on the alts. So that means that in a week time or 2 weeks time, not much changes with regards to probabilities and the overall analysis. So you will probably find your answer there. So see you all tomorrow. Yeah, safe trading.